Hello and welcome back to another video on the rest of the debate and to another edition of Smackdown Out of 10. And yeah, it's a big Smackdown this week. There's a lot going on, and we've getting the build up now to Backlash. And yeah, a few title matches being announced for that card today. And yeah, I have to say it is looking like a very interesting card. So intrigued to see what we get on this week's show. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Damian Priest and Finn Balor kicked off the show, and after a recap of Judgment Day feud with Rey Mysterio and Bad Bunny, we headed into the first match, which was them against Rey on Santos. Balor and Rey kicked off the match, and the Judgment Day was sent out of the ring. And Rey then tried for a sliding splash on the outside on Balor, but Priest dragged Finn away, letting Mysterio hit the floor. After a back and forth, Rey got a senton and spring body, crossbody for a near fall on Balor before trying for a 619, but Priest blocked it. Rey then sent Damien outside and got the 619 on Balor before Escobar tagged in. Escobar then tried to pin Balor, but Damien was the legal man. Balor came back and hit the South of Heaven on Escobar before getting a win. And yeah, good win for the Judgment Day. This, I have to say, gets a 6 out of 10 for me. Really fun match. Just kind of feel like we're doing different combinations like of it now, and would like to see the feud advance a bit more. But yeah, Selena Vega was backstage and asked Adam Pearce to put her in a title match against Rhea Ripley at Backlash, and the match was later made official, and that makes sense given the storylines that them and the respective stables are in at the moment. Braun Strowman and Ricochet then took on the Viking Raiders for what feels like the 5,000th time on SmackDown. Braun and Ivar kicked off the match, and the Vikings were in control early on before Strowman got some big strikes in. Eric was then knocked off the apron but came back to stop Braun from getting the power slam on Ivar. Ricochet was tagged in and sent the Vikings outside before hitting a big dive. Braun was then tagged back in and cleared the ring before running around the ringside area. Braun was headed back, but Valhalla dragged him by his feet, letting the Vikings regain control before Ricochet came back and got some big moves before getting a double team on Ivar. Eric was then knocked off the apron before Ricochet hit a senton off Braun's shoulders to pick up the win. And yeah, like I say, this just wasn't a bad match. It was really entertaining, I have to say, but it just feels like we've seen this match so many times now. I am getting a bit tired of it, so yeah, unfortunately I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez were then defending their women's tag titles against Sonya and Chelsea. Morgan and Deville kicked off the match, and Raquel was tagged in with the champs in control. Green and Deville then took her down at ringside before Liv came in with a big dive. Liv climbed the ropes before the challengers dropped her, and Green got a near fall. Deville was then tagged in and distracted the ref before Green attacked Liv from the apron. Raquel came back and cleared the ring before getting a suplex on Deville. Liv then tagged back in and took out Green with a dropkick before spraying something in her face from a bottle while the ref was distracted. Liv hit a rope assisted oblivion before getting the pin with the help of Raquel. And yeah, this gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Decent first title defense, I would say. Kind of had necessary shenanigans in it, which you're always going to get with Sonya and Chelsea. So yeah, kind of worked well. Good win for the faces. And yeah, I think they could do really good stuff with the belt. So yeah, looking forward to their reign. Gunther was then defending his IC title against Xavier Woods, and he started with chops early on and took Woods down before he came back with some strikes and a headlock. After a break, Gunther was still in control and got a big suplex for a near fall. Woods then sent Gunther outside and hit a big dive before sending him back inside from a leg drop. Xavier then got a front face stand before trying to roll the champ out. Gunther then got a brutal headlock and Woods passed out as the match ended. And yeah, gets 6 out of 10 from me. This was kind of a simple win for Gunther, I have to say. But yeah, one over Woods. He's no slouch. And yeah, made Gunther look like an even more of a killer. And Woods was happy to do the job for Gunther here, and it really worked. And Gunther, yeah, with this just incredible title reign, you have to say at this point, Mark continues on really good stuff. The Usos were then out next and made fun of them. People were constantly talking about losing their titles at Mania. They hyped up the rematch before calling Solo Sikoa to the ring for the main event, and he was taking on Riddle in a no DQ match and took control early on and got a big lariat before taking Riddle down with an elbow. Sikoa then got kendo sticks and steel chairs in the ring before beating Riddle down with a kendo stick. Riddle came back with a kendo stick of his own and sent Solo into the steps outside before giving a Broton at ringside. Solo then got a Samoan drop in the ring but before a near fall before setting up Riddle with a corner in the chair. Riddle came back and rushed Solo with a chair before getting a chair-assisted knee to the face for a near fall. The two fought over the announcer's desk, and Riddle blocked a move on the table before taking Solo down with a rolling move on top of him. The Usos then got involved, but Riddle also took them out and hit a big dive. Solo got out of the wreckage and hit a Uranagi on the apron before Riddle countered the Samoan strike. Riddle tried for his finisher, but Solo countered with the spike with the win. The Usos got a table after the match and sent Riddle for it with a 1D as SmackDown went off the air. So yeah, another episode of SmackDown, and yeah, another time the Bloodline ends on top. But yeah, this was a really good match. Get 7 out of 10 from me. Solo at the moment is just incredible. The way they're booking him is exemplary. Riddle, he kind of eat a loss here. But yeah, I mean, Solo, I love what they're doing with him. And yeah, really good match to finish off SmackDown with lots of kendo stick action. So it gets 7 out of 10 from me. Really, really good stuff. Overall this week, SmackDown gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Yeah, I have to say, I thought it was a solid episode of SmackDown this week. Really, really good stuff. the main event was great. Some of the title matches on the show were great, and yeah, we're definitely setting out for an interesting looking backlash with different storylines and random matches like Seth Rollins Amos being announced. So yeah, looking forward to it. Good stuff. 6 out of 10. But anyway, guys, that's it really. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, remember to comment, and for daily wrestling news. Subscribe to my channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.